morning, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. Let's just begin by getting into the mindful body. And just taking several deep breaths in silence. And let's begin by enjoying what we're grateful for today. Here in my part of the world, it has heated up a lot, about 40 degrees over the last 3 days, and it is just such a wonderful ease from the deep freeze. So just enjoying the smell of outside and the warm air, and really blessed. I'm grateful for this time we can spend together. My family and friends and loved ones. You've noticed I am filming my meditation videos in my partner's house, and that's usually where I find myself Sunday morning, since we hang out on Saturday nights. He gets up and lights this lovely fire behind me to keep it nice and cozy. Lights all these candles. It's got a water fountain. You might be able to hear that in the background. In our last 5 meetings, we were exploring stress management, and through the body, the thoughts, the emotions, and also just sitting in stillness, getting past the point of doing, as we have often done in this practice, and being. And I would really encourage you to enjoy that practice. Today we're going to explore a method developed by a teacher that I follow, Brach. She's a wonderful and wise teacher of meditation, and she's a psychologist as well, and just an overall incredible person with a lot of books and a lot of resources online if you'd like to follow her as well. So she has developed something that she's called the RAIN method, RAIN. And that is, as we sit and practice, and this is a doing method as well. This is not a being method. So to recognize and allow what we're feeling, that's the R and the A. The I stands for investigate, and then the N stands for nurture. So that's the part that we haven't yet done in our stress management series, and that is the nurture. We did touch upon it in reminding ourselves through a breath mantra of our resilience. So the investigate portion is potentially where we can go a little sideways by trying to think things through. But while we're meditating, we don't want to be thinking things through. What we're looking for is, where do I feel this in the body? What does it feel like in this physical moment? And also noticing any emotions that accompany that. For example, the root cause of most worries and upset is fear. And so let's allow that fear to surface. Often we don't, because it's too stressful, or we may be embarrassed by how ridiculous our thoughts are once we bring them to light. And bringing the thoughts to light is always awesome, because they become easier to manage and allow to pass. So the investigate portion isn't, while we're practicing, isn't going to require a lot of thinking and processing. We want to still stay in a meditative state and just noticing the body, the emotions. And finally, nurture. And that means to forgive ourselves for feeling certain ways, to have compassion for ourselves, compassion for others who are involved in our upset. Loving kindness. Loving kindness is an important part of nurturing, giving to ourselves and to others. Recognizing that everyone has their own pain that they're struggling with, that we basically know nothing about. And so we want to be sensitive to that. We want to include as many people as possible in our awareness, in our tender awareness. Part of the nurturing also is letting go of inferior and superior. Often we will hang on to something because we feel badly about ourselves or we feel better than someone else. And we want to get past that. We want to know, who am I and what's happening, without inferior, superior, without this judgment that we're holding on to. What's happening? So let's begin by reviewing some of our mindful anchors that we can get into a deeper meditative state with. Let's begin by inhaling, noticing the rise and fall of the chest, and allowing the shoulders to rise and fall. And just straightening up the body into a position of power but ease. Let's take a few more deep breaths where we notice the rise and fall of the chest. And just always with gratitude, reminding ourselves of what a miracle it is to be able to breathe. How this all works together is pretty incredible. It's all invisible. And now let's begin by noticing our bodies, noticing where our feet make contact with the floor. And just feeling the heaviness as we sink into the body. Allowing the feet to rest deeply into the floor, allowing the knees and hips to relax to support us. Let's send our awareness further up through the legs, stopping to notice the knees and thighs and hips. And noticing where the sit bones make contact with the mat or the floor or your mattress if you're lying down. Finally, bringing awareness to the belly. And just allowing the belly to hang out freely. Noticing the expansion of the belly as we breathe deeply. Let's inhale for a count of 4. And hold for a count of 8. And now let's exhale. Let's exhale for 8. If that's too long, you can half that ratio. You can 1, 2, 4 that. That's a singer's exercise that I use frequently. And just inhaling deeply, noticing the rise of the chest and shoulders and the expansion of the torso and belly. Holding for 2 counts, and then exhaling slowly for 4. And bringing our awareness up to the shoulders and the neck, relaxing the face, relaxing the hands, turning them palms upward in your lap. And allowing the whole body to relax and be heavy into this wonderful moment of presence and awareness. And what a gift it is that we give to ourselves, our full awareness and presence. It is the highest and best we can offer anyone. And we do want to make sure we're offering that to ourselves as well. Let's sit for a few moments in silence, observing the rain method. So at this point, we're observing any stimuli that cross our paths, whether it's thoughts or emotions. And so we're doing the recognize and allow portion. And just as we introduce this method, you may be hit with a barrage of thoughts and emotions. So allow them to pass. Let's zero in on one important thought or emotion. Generally, they are all connected. They are all flavors of the same soup. And just noticing what it feels like to allow ourselves to sit with a difficult thought or emotion without reacting to it in the moment, without responding to it in the moment. With very activating thoughts and emotions, it's difficult not to have a really strong body response, a stress response, an urge like to have fight, flight, freeze, something like that. So in our rain meditation, we're going to be sitting with our difficult thoughts and emotions, watching them and enjoying that they do not consume us, that they do not compel us into an immediate reaction. Continuing to breathe as we observe. At this point, you may have already started investigating. And so we are wondering, where do I feel this in the body? And taking several deep breaths into that area of the body. Perhaps this stimulus creates a tightness in the chest as we sit with it. Grief, pain, the inability to express oneself will often manifest as chest pain, constriction in the chest, and that is a physiological stress response, right? Those are our stress hormones at work. Perhaps there's a tightness of the belly. So let's inhale and exhale, allowing those to release. And just the simple act of sitting with our bodies as we respond physically to a stress is an act of nurturing. We allow ourselves to relax in the safe and comfortable, protected place of meditation. Inhaling deeply and allowing the chest to relax. Relaxing the face that can get tightened up into a scowl. Just spreading the face apart into a little smile. Feeling the smile in the brow, in the cheeks, and on the inside of the mouth. And just noticing those muscles at work as we relax the face into a gentle smile. Remembering and feeling what it's like to be easy and comfortable, and allowing that to come from the inside out on the face. And finally, drawing our attention to our hands on our laps. Just relaxing our palms, relaxing our hands, palms up. Noticing the wrists being easy and all the finger joints being easy and free. A sense of ease in the wrists, so we're not in a tense posture, just relaxing the wrists. During this nurturing of the body excursion we've just taken, we are exploring what is the root of our concern. And we can ask ourselves why? How do I feel? We come to this investigation with the knowledge that most of our worry and strong reactions have to do with fear. So, trust your gut instinct here. What are you afraid of? What are we afraid of? Usually it has to do with an exaggerated fear of survival. As our unprocessed thoughts over time have become exaggerated in our unconscious. And let's commit to sitting with that over the week to continue our investigation. It might take a little more time to get to the root of any worry. It might take a little more time to face it. That's usually the issue. We don't want to face what the real root is. Either it seems too painful or it seems too ridiculous. So allowing either of those to be expressed and to care for them is where we're going. Let's conclude today's practice with nurturing. And just envisioning ourselves as a very young child or a little puppy, a kitten, a precious little being. And imagine we are holding that precious little being with tenderness and a giant open heart, and just caressing and loving and caring for this precious little being. Of course, this precious being is us. And just inhaling deeply into the sense of being loved unconditionally, being a source of wonder and joy and precious excitement to ourselves. Excitement about what could unfold, where the day is going, where the week will go. Being ready to be forgiving of our mistakes and easy about our interactions. And let's wrap up our practice. Thank you for meeting with me today. I look forward to seeing you again next week. If you'd like to join our practice live, please email me at calgarymindfulness@gmail.com. And please visit the website at calgarymindfulness.ca for links to all of our podcasts and upcoming classes. Again, as always, your questions and concerns are welcome. They guide all of our practices, and I really appreciate hearing from you, every one of you. Thank you so much. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.